What is up, woke family? It's your boy Wokey Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream. So the topic discussing this last stream today is in regards to why the single motherhood rate is on the rise. We have to really get into this conversation, man, because I think in not only America but in Canada, right, in the UK, and so many westernized countries, we're seeing the single motherhood rate raised to the extremes, right? So if we take it back into the past in the 1960s, especially in the black community, right, the single motherhood rate was roughly at 25%. But now, fast forward 60 years later, it's jumped from 25% to roughly 75%. Why? Because the government, especially here in the United States, which obviously the other countries are starting to catch up to, they're starting to promote women to be by themselves through welfare. And on top of welfare, right, there's just so many things that are being promoted by social media to get women to be on this wave of being strong and independent and saying that I don't need a man, men aren't anything, and I'm equal to a man. But you have to understand when you're doing these things, you're going against what God created. You're going against what God said is supposed to be. The man is supposed to be the head of the household, right? God made it for the man to be the head and for the woman to follow behind the man, right? Because the man is supposed to be a symbol of masculinity, which is coming from the spiritual most high and coming into the man. So even though you might not realize it, right? Most men are being led by the most high God. And then from there, God made the man the leader in order to be able to lead the woman, right? Because women obviously are the genetically weaker than men, right? So they're the weaker species. Therefore, they need to be guided by somebody who's really going to be able to lead them into a path that is going to help them to be the best version of themselves. Because if they were to lead themselves, they would lead themselves to destruction because they don't know what it takes to lead, right? The average woman doesn't know what it takes to lead because she doesn't have that ability within herself to lead. Why? Because she's not a man, right? With her being a man, it makes her, well, with a man being a man, it makes him a better leader in order to be able to do what it takes in order to succeed, right? But when you're not in that situation to do so, right, especially being a woman, you have to allow the person of a higher genetic ability and a higher status to be able to take that lead, which is the man. And if you do not allow a man to obviously take his place of being a man, you're going against what God is telling you to do, right? Especially in this society here in America, right? We have a lot of women that are, like I said, that are on the mentality that I want to be strong and I'm independent. I don't need a man. But then when they end up becoming 30, right, going through that epiphany phase, 40, 50, 60, they start saying, why are all the good men gone? The reality of the situation is that during those 20s and late teens, all they wanted to do was party, smoke, drink, have intercourse with multiple men, right? Recreational sex, right? And not value their box, not value their most prized possession, not value their beauty, right? And when men start to treat you badly, when men don't look at you anymore, you wonder why. Because the thing is that we live in a society now where a woman wants to be equal to a man, but when it suits her as well too, she also wants to be treated like a lady. Does that make sense? So with that being said, you have to understand that you as a man, when you start to really focus on yourself, you're going to start to really level up and not deal with a lot of the things that the society wants you to deal with when it comes to the interaction between men and women, right? We live in a society now, and this is not only America, but this is the UK, this is Australia potentially, right? Canada as well too, where a woman could be a single mother and still expect a man that's over 6 feet tall, making $100,000 a year to take care of her. Now, one thing that one has to really ask themselves is, if that's the situation, why would me, for instance, right? Why would me, a man that's making over $100,000 a year, over 6 feet tall, and in the best shape of my life, why would I pay attention to you when there's a single, more beautiful 18-year-old girl that will actually listen to what I'm saying and respect my values? She's feminine, submissive. She knows how to cook. Why would I take her over you that's 30 years old? You wasted your prime and you were doing whatever suits you, right? Because the reality is that in this, especially here in this society, women are not told the truth, right? Women are fed this fallacy, especially on social media, right? Where they can do whatever they want in the future, that there's always going to be a man that's going to want to wife them up. And that's not true. Not for every woman, right? For certain women, they might be an anomaly. But the reality is that the anomaly is not the exception to the rule. Let me repeat that again. Well, my bad. The anomaly is not the standard. Let me repeat that again. The anomaly is not the standard. The anomaly is the exception to the rule, but the anomaly is not the standard. The standard is that if most women don't work, especially in their late teens and 20s, on how to become the best woman possible in order to become a wife, it's going to be very hard for you to find a man that's actually going to take you seriously, right? That's why you see a lot of women that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, even 60s, still looking for love, whether it's in person or whether it's on a dating app, right? And the reality is that most men don't want you. Most men don't view you attractive. Most men don't want to have to deal with their baggage, right? We live in a society now when it comes to dealing with men and women. Women will come with a lot of baggage and expect a man to deal with it, right? They tell you, take me as I am, right? Come, if you don't come correct or something like that. But if a man has baggage, a woman doesn't want to deal with it, because the thing is that the reality is, no matter how old a woman is, and this goes for majority of women, not all, because obviously there's those anomalies, like I said, but for the majority, they're brought up to be selfish. They're brought up to be selfish, to only care about themselves and what's best for them. But when it comes to other people, they don't care. They don't know how to relate to people. They don't even know how to have basic conversations with men or any other person, right? All they do is mimic everything they see on social media, especially when it comes to Instagram and TikTok now. So the reality is that if you as a man consider yourself to be high value, you have to value yourself. You have to put yourself first. You have to level up in order to become that person that God has called you to become, and not put women above you. Because if you look at it, women are not going to put themselves above you. Therefore, why would you put her above yourself? Focus on becoming the best version of yourself that you can become on a daily basis. Improve spiritually in your connection with Jesus Christ. Improve mentally in your thought process, right? The way you think through situations logically. Emotionally, be in control of your emotions, be in control of your feelings, right? Don't allow your feelings to come out and then you start acting more feminine. We're not feminine, we're masculine men of God, right? 1 second, water break. Focus on becoming the most masculine version of yourself, right? So you improve physically, get into the gym every day, eat clean, work on your physique, right? Financially, try as much as possible to be able to level up when it comes to how much money you're making per year, and invest that into assets that are going to be able to help you double and triple your money, if not even make up to 10x as much as you're making. There's a lot of things, right? There are a lot of things that you can do as a man in order to be able to level up. So never put a woman before your purpose, man. And they respect it a lot more when you focus on yourself more than you focus on them. Because the reality is that a lot of women will try to make it seem like they're innocent and they're angels, but they're a lot more toxic than you are. Therefore, you gotta focus on yourself. Make yourself the priority, and then from there, let them come. Right? Try to elevate yourself. The reality is that the single motherhood rate has increased so much, and we have to get it back down. The way to get it back down is to have women focus on actually becoming the best version of themselves. Have themselves be taught, whether it's through social media. Well, not really through social media, because social media destroyed it in the first place, but through YouTube, through their mothers, on how to actually cater to a man and be a good wife for a man in the future. So you don't end up becoming a single mother who's not going to get taken seriously, right? That's the goal. And if you can focus on that, then from there, you're putting yourself in a position to succeed, especially as a woman that either has the potential to become a single mother or become a wife. Your goal is to become a wife, not a single mother, because single mothers don't get respect. You want to be a woman of virtue, a woman of value that's going to be respected amongst other women and amongst men. If you understand this, because you're woke. If you don't understand, you're not woke. This is going to be in this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at WokeeBucks, WOKEEBUKS, and tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, so with social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be in this live stream. This is WokeeBucks, and I'm out, man.